Coming to a nice tall posture. So easy seated posture. Sukhasana. Bring your spine nice and tall. Resting your hands on your lap. It's the posture of just kind of getting present, right? So we have our we bring our awareness right to our center. So kind of take a moment just to rest your hands and take a few breaths, or just start to notice your breath. Just noticing your natural breath, kind of allowing a little bit of time to gather up all our kind of rampant energies that are reaching in different directions, or even kind of in the past or the future, and bring them right inside. So just kind of gather your awareness, and you could do that just by beginning to notice the natural breath here, right close to your body, in your body. And let the mind, notice the mind, right? Just and bring it gently towards these sensations of breathing. Might notice a bit of rise and fall in the chest or shoulders as you breathe in and breathe out. Just starting to relax and notice this moment just as it is. Just relaxing, maybe bringing attention to the eyes and the forehead, just allowing them to relax, maybe around the jaw. Letting your attention settle into your shoulders, your chest. Wrapping around to the upper back and just feeling the breath there, if at all, or just noticing if this feels tense or relaxed. It's just to relax with, right? It's just to be with your living body, just living in this moment. You might feel your hands where they touch your legs and feel the texture or excuse me, the warmth of the palms against your thighs. You might even gently press down into your palms and just feel your legs touching the earth. Take just a moment to pause, feel the legs on the earth, the sitting bones there. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and when you let it out, we're going to hum a little bit today. So a humming can kind of help release through our sinuses. So if you do have any sort of congestion or clogged sinuses, but it can also just kind of We'll see what you notice. How does it feel for you? So we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and close the lips gently and just hum. Try that out a few times, and when you're exhaling and humming, allow that vibration just to relax you even more. Let the vibration just kind of travel. Notice where you feel the vibration in your body. We're going to turn the head to the right, taking a breath in. As you exhale and hum, bring your head back to neutral. Going to do the same thing to the left. Inhale, turn the head to the left. And hum as you come back. Nice long, slow breaths. We're going to go back and forth let's do that about 4 times. So we'll inhale to the right. Hum your way back to center. Inhale to the left. Try one more on each side at your own pace, just with your own breath. And there's no hurry. Just to kind of feel that vibration through, you might feel it through your chest, your shoulders, or your neck, or your jaw. Let's tilt the chin up. Let's take a breath in. Same thing, we'll hum back to a neutral head. Inhale to drop the chin. And hum the head back to center. And keep going with that a few more times, just trying it out, see how you feel. Not letting yourself start to hurry, but just to be with the sound and the vibration. And we'll start to just kind of wake up these shoulders. Just bring your fingertips to your shoulders. Inhale the elbows down and up the front. And as you exhale, elbows out and back and down. So we're drawing a big circle with the elbows. Let's take that a few times, right? Inhale up, exhale down. The only purpose to life is to learn and be curious and allow an unfolding, right? Just as it comes. So just see what's here today. What's it like just to be present here and being a non-harming, right? Just taking care of this body and this mind. So that means in our thoughts and in our movement as well. So ahimsa is non-harming. Let's bring our hands back down to our knees and come over onto our hands and knees. So we'll come into our tabletop. We're going to continue to use our humming breath just to really relax and be present and start to just feel the tissues vibrate with the energy of spring, right? So when you come into your tabletop, find that sturdy base. So you press down into your shins and the tops of your feet. Spread your palms and take the crease of the wrists right under your shoulders. So you're forming this really sturdy table. And then let the belly drop. We'll look forward for cow pose with an inhale breath. And as you exhale, sink your hips back towards your heels. So we're going to come into child's pose, right? Moving dynamically in and out of child's pose. We're going to inhale back up onto hands and knees. Exhale back to child's pose. And then pressing palms down, pulling forward. Same thing. We're going to continue this kind of rocking in and out. And you could add that hum. So you could just, on your exhale back towards child's pose, start to link the humming breath, right? So, take this last one, just feel the resonance of life in your body. And then we'll pull forward again. This time we're going to move into downward dog. So we'll curl the toes under and push back, lifting your knees. Let's come into that downward facing dog if that's available. Press, leave your knees bent, right? Just for a moment, feel the sense of pushing into your palms. So the weight goes back towards the balls of your feet and up into your hips. So the weight is in your legs. And as you lengthen your spine and bend your knees a little bit, right? Feel the internal turn of the armpits towards your heart. And with that nice, sturdy four-legged base, we're going to lower the knees again, right? Take an inhale, look forward. And exhale again, back into that downward facing dog. Right, so let's take that. If you like, you could add the humming breath. We're going to just take this at your own pace, back and forth with the hum if you like. The inhale brings the knees down. We look forward. And the exhale, we push back. Weight goes back to the heels and hips up to the sky. We may or may not straighten our knees, right? We could keep our knees bent. And the next time you come into cow pose, take your hips back to your heels and just rest in child's pose for a moment. Right, you could bring your forehead to your hands or to a block and just pause. Take 4 breaths in and out. So the quote from this morning of just exploring and learning and sensing, and it's our only purpose in life to allow it to unfold and just see how do we live. So how do we move is our practice on the mat, and we move without harming ourselves or and we practice just being here, right, with what's ever here. So we're going to come up, right, walk your hands in, right, come into a standing forward bend, and just let your knees bend, right, hang over your legs, so like a rag doll, just let the body hang. Feel the sense of your lower ribs coming toward or onto your thighs. So we're going to bend the knees enough to really get there. Shift your weight forward into the balls of your feet. And if this is too much, you could have your hands on your upper legs, right? So supporting your back. So for some, you might need that support, right? If you have any back pain or strain. And we're just going to practice a little bit of a flow coming halfway up. So we'll inhale, look forward, little straightening of the legs, and then exhale, bend the knees again and fold back in towards your legs. So a little dynamic lengthening of the spine. As you inhale, you're going to look forward, little straightening of the knees halfway up, and then bend as you exhale and fold back in. So as you do this, right? So your hands could be on your thighs. You could be walking your fingertips up to your shins for some of you, if that's better. Let's take this last one, come halfway up, look forward, lengthen, pause, and stay on your inhale. Take a breath, draw the low belly in to support the back. And then come all the way up. Breathing in, reaching tall, so your tailbone lengthens towards the floor. And as you reach towards the sky in this upward salute, coming into this extended or mountain pose, right? Press down into your three parts of your foot. So the big ball, ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, and the heels. So we're all pressing down, then we're lifting and lengthening. Your hip bones are lifting up towards the sky. Clasp your hands, press your palms up, right? So really lengthening the 26 vertebrae. We're taking a bit of the curvature out of our spine here. And take a breath. Right? Feel that breath move in and out. And the next time you exhale, let's take a side bend, right? So over to the right. Good, your body's way, so staying rooted into the feet. But if the arms are not comfortable here, you might drop your right hand and just reach up and over. Right, take one more breath. Good, reach all the way up. Let's find our roots again. Press into the balls of the feet. So our quadriceps are lifting, side bend to the left. So you're finding like the quads are lifting up off of your kneecaps and supporting you, right? You're a bit of an inner thigh squeeze, so it's supporting the perineum or pelvic floor. Good. We'll inhale, reach all the way up. Come back to mountain, hands to heart. Just take a moment to notice your breath in this body, in this moment, just as it is. Just coming back to sensation, again and again helps to take us out of these busy, rampant minds and into something different. So from our mountain, we're going to step our left foot back to warrior one, and it can be a shorter warrior one today. So our feet are staggered. We're not on a tightrope. We don't want to have one foot behind the other. But in warrior one, our heels are almost in alignment with each other, but our legs are straight back from our hips. So finding that place and pressing down into your back foot, right? Make sure your heel is fully grounded and your big toe is kind of hugging the earth. So there's a bit of supination or internal wrap of your foot to kind of hold ground. And we're going to reach all the way up as we bend our knee over that front ankle. Take a breath here. Find your strong, sturdy warrior as you lift up. So an inhale. Now as you're exhaling, we're going to make this dynamic. Hinge at your hips. Straighten your front leg a bit. Come halfway down. Bring your hands to your thighs. So we're coming into a wide pyramid posture. And we're going to make this a repeater. So exploring, right? Inhale, bend the knees, stretch the arms up to warrior one. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thigh, pyramid pose. Good. And not coming too far down. We're just going to take this with our breath if it feels right. Exploring the in and out of those postures without caving into our joints here, right? So we still have a bit of a pressing down into our feet and hugging the earth as we draw our inner thighs towards each other. Our legs are strong. We're not just sinking in. So we're going to inhale to reach up. And this time when you exhale, stay in that pyramid posture. Maybe even hop your back foot in a little bit. Shorten your stance and pause. So we take a few moments to square the hips towards the floor. Right? Sending the weight into the back heel, into the front big toe, and then lifting the quadriceps. So finding the lift off of the kneecaps. And breathe. Okay, so noticing here, let's take 3 more breaths to hold. And we haven't added our hum yet, so we're going to come back up, look forward, step forward, and come to mountain. Good, we'll try the other side. Stepping your right foot back into warrior one. Check out your feet, right? Find ground, equal weight between both feet. Reaching your arms overhead. Right, a bit of a squeeze of the inner thighs scissoring towards each other. Bending the knee, inhale, reaching up. Now exhale, take your bend, your hinge at the hips into a wide pyramid. And coming halfway down. Think of that hinge at your hip joints. Come back up, inhale. And exhale. Maybe with a hum sound this time if you like. Right, we'll try about 3 more movements in and out, but really feel here. So inhale, it's your exploration. And exhale. Good, keep going with that. 2 more breaths. And then pause in your upright or pause in your pyramid, actually. We're going to hop our back foot in a little bit. Send your hips way back, right? So equal weight for your pyramid pose. Equal weight between 2 feet, right? So as you hinge from your hip joints, your hands could be on your left thigh. And then think of wrapping that right hip around to face the floor. Dip your chin towards your heart. And we'll take about 3 more breaths here. And maybe even one of those breaths you add that hum on your exhale. Noticing where you notice it in your body. And with your next inhale breath, soften your front knee and we'll come all the way up. Step forward to mountain. Right, inhale the arms overhead to lengthen out those 26 vertebrae. And exhale, hands to heart. And let's step wide and come into wide-legged forward bend. And this one you could do, if you like, you could use a chair or a block. And we're going to kind of, as we step wide, if you know you'd like a little more support with the chair, we're going to hinge at our hip joints, a little bend in the knees, shift your weight into the balls of your feet, and walk your hands forwards. We're really lengthening out the spine, right? So here with our inhale, right? And as you exhale, bend your right knee. Kind of walk your hands over to the right. Right, so we're shifting our weight over to that right foot. Our left foot stays really grounded, right? So you feel that maybe in the adductors of the left leg, right? A little stretch. Good. Keep lengthen your spine. Come back to center. Straighten the leg. And then bend the left knee, shifting weight over. Walk your hands towards the left foot or left side of the chair. Good. Stay grounded in both feet again. Maybe shift your weight forward. Keep shifting it into the balls of the feet so you feel the quadriceps active. And then inhale back to center. And to the other side again. Bend the right knee. Walk hands to the right. Lengthen through your side ribs. Exhale. Inhale to center. Straighten the leg. And other side. Exhale. Good. And then as you come back to center, pause. Right, stay in the balls of the feet. You might walk then your hands lower if you like, or stay with the chair. Just coming into the center forward bend and pause. Taking about 3 to 4 breaths here. And if you like, you could add your humming breath, right? Maybe notice that where you feel the vibrations in your exhale breath. Always bending the knees. For most of us, hamstrings can be pretty tight. So and on your next breath in, just walk your hands back up and come all the way to standing. Shift your feet in. Mountain pose. See how you feel. Kind of check out your breath, your body as it assumes this position. Good. It's the way when we go through just exploring and learning and unfolding, it's like if we're not present, we will miss something. We'll miss the beauty of the moment or what's unfolding. So let's stretch our arms out, right? Step wide in your stance again. We're going to play with triangle pose today. So turn our toes to the right. Good. Inhale, take your arms overhead. Good. So we are our length from tail to crown, right? Legs are active again. Press and lift your arches of your feet. Exhale, not bend the knee. We're going to come into triangle. So we're going to hinge at that right hip joint and slide the arm down the leg. Try that out again. We're going to lift up, inhale overhead. Exhale, hinge at that right hip joint and come overhead. So we're keeping that length in the spine. And exhale. And let's take this last one. You could even just slide the hand up the leg, right? And then back down. And let's pause. We'll stay there for 3 breaths in triangle pose. And as you do, kind of feel it's always active. It's like making sure not a single joint is bearing more of the load than another. So I start to notice it in my right knee sometimes, and I give a little micro bend to the knee so it's not overloaded or hyperextended. And let's reach with that left arm to come back up and down. We'll turn our feet parallel first. Good. Feel that recovery breath. Float the arms out and the feet to the left. Right? So slide. Let's crease in that right hip, or left hip, sorry. Right, to extend our spine out in triangle. We're going to slide the left hand out. Let's do this with the hand slide on the leg this time. So we're going to reach. We're going to come back up. Inhale, legs still really active and strong. Exhale to crease at the hip, spine long. And 2 more breaths. Maybe you hum on your exhale down. And last one. As you slide down, we're going to pause and hold this time. Right? Stay there. Maybe 3 breaths. Notice if there's any joint that's carrying too much of this. Maybe you're caving into your shoulder. I can't see you guys, so check out that lower shoulder and make sure you're not bearing a lot of weight in that shoulder. You're hugging your belly in to more support the pose. Good, and reach with that right arm to come back up and back to neutral, right? Step your feet in. Mountain pose, right? See how you feel. Bring your hands to your heart. Practicing ahimsa, being kind to ourselves. And let's step wide one more time. Turn your toes out, right? We're going to reach out and up and really feel the space. Like yoga's about really, exploring the space of you. So as you reach up, and we're going to, on the exhale, we're going to bend the knees into goddess pose. So we're going to send the knees wide apart, but actually find a place where we feel the bones are supported. So we're not too far apart with our feet. We feel like we're really strong and sturdy. Good. So wrap the shoulder blades down the back. And dynamic movement. So we're going to inhale, reach, straighten the legs. And exhale, bend knees and elbows, right? Try that out a few times, right? So we're working with external rotation in our hip joints, building strength, feeling the resonance of a humming breath. You want to add that in. Hard for me to add the hum when I'm talking, so I'm just going to suggest it. Pause and hold in your goddess pose and stay there for 3 breaths. And notice, is there any part of your upper legs that's not engaged? So if you feel like you're kind of hanging loose on the adductors, kind of hug in and up a little bit with your legs, right? So one more breath. Good. We'll release and step in. Good. Hands to heart. Take a breath. We're going to come back down onto our hands and knees. So finding some space in child's pose. So as you come back to child's pose, just pause. All right, we're going to take a couple breaths there. Right, in this new shape, you can widen your knees a little bit if you're feeling a little more, or actually keep your knees parallel to start here. We're going to do some flying camels. So let's bring our hands to the base of the spine, palms up, so our hands are rested on our sacrum. And starting to warm or feel our hip hinge again. We're going to come up onto the knees. So with a press down into the shins, we're going to lift high, reach overhead. And then exhale, bow back into the child's pose. Hands move back to the sacrum. So really starting to feel that connection to our core. So as you root down through the shins and tops of the feet, swing your hips forward, reaching up. And then as you exhale, there's the belly to spine that's going to support you on the way down. So hugging in. And again, we can use the breath to guide us here. Inhaling up. Long, slow exhale. Maybe the humming breath as you curl back in. Just noticing where it resonates, where the vibrations are. Exploring, right? So if it feels right, try one more exploration upwards. Inhale nice and tall. Pause. Let's stay upright this time. Let's bring your fist to your low back. Right, support the lower spine. And we'll take this version of Camel Pose, right, with our fist kind of sliding down to the sacrum. Hips moving forward, right, lower ribs lift, so feel the sense of the support from the thoracic ribs, the back side, right, kind of lifting. You can keep your gaze forward depending on your neck. Several breaths here. And come all the way back. And just bring your hands to the floor. Right, pause for a moment so you can let your back just kind of recover there from that bend. And we'll come forward and come all the way down onto the belly. Bringing forehead to your hands. Pressing tops of the feet down, you'll feel your quadriceps lift. Let's stretch our arms out in front. So I'm going to take Ardha Shalabhasana, or half locust pose. So on your in-breath, lifting your left leg, chest, shoulders, head, and your right arm. Right, so opposites here. And then lower back down as you exhale down. There's a gentle hug of your belly in to support your spine. So let me check in with that right now, and we'll do the other side. So on the in breath, left arm, right leg. And lower back down. Right arm, left leg. Lowering back down. Continuing alternating sides. Use the opposite arm and foot to press down into the earth so it supports that lift through the other side. And these next two, slowly exhale, right? So check in with your breath. See if you've kind of lost your breath, or if you can do it a little slower to catch, let the breath be with the movement. Maybe it needs to expand a little bit. And just bring your hands, your forehead back to your hands and rest. Next couple breaths, maybe explore feeling your belly expand against the floor. And then draw inward as you're exhaling. And we'll bring our hands back next to the chest, press up and back, and we're going to come around onto our back. So supine position. All right, so maybe take a full body stretch so we come into neutral alignment of the spine. So adjusting your hips, neutral alignment. And then just swing your arms out to a T and bend your knees. So I'm going to take take a spinal twist. Let's slowly slide that left leg out straight. Leave the right knee bent. And a dynamic twisting motion. We're going to take our a little roll, a rock and roll to our left hip. So kind of feel that somatic movement, right? So rocking to the left, we're going to bring the right knee across and then rock back, right? So a couple times with the exhale, we're turning into the twist. With the inhale, we're rocking back. And the exhale, turning into the twist. So nice and slow, exploring. The next one, you might pause, stay there. You could bring your left hand to that right knee if that feels helpful or supportive. Just an option. Maybe turn your head to the right. And the pose is always alive with breath, right? So feeling where those vibrations resonate in your body today. And then coming back to neutral, we'll just adjust our hips to neutral and maybe slide the right leg out. Good, left knee's bent. And check out your head. I mention this once in a while, but if your chin is tilted back a lot, you may need a thinly folded blanket behind your head just to have your chin level with the floor. And then take some dynamic twisting. So we'll just rock onto the right hip. Inhale to come back. Exhale across. Inhale to come back. So exploring, right? So like Sri Nisargadatta says, life is just about learning and exploring and unfolding. That's all there is. So what could we notice in this moment as we pause in our spinal twist and we adjust these bones, muscles, tissues, and breath, right? What do we notice? I feel a lot more expansion in my left lung than my right in this position. I have a bit of an adjustment in my sacrum and my lumbar spine. As I take one more breath, and maybe adjust my head a little bit and see how that changes the posture. What do we notice here? And then slide back. Feet to the floor and pause, neutral hips, right? Just kind of let your arms come by your sides. Good. We're going to take a few hip bridges here. So on your in breath, just checking out, the feet. Let's make sure our feet are grounded and straight out from our hip joints. So our kneecaps face the ceiling. And we're going to pick up the hips. So just pushing into the feet first. We're going to pick up the hips, roll up the spine, and as we do, just take your right arm up, right? So our right arm is guided up and back with our hips. And then lower the hips, lower the arm down. Turn the head to the left. And then to come back to neutral with the head, press into the feet and raise the left arm. And as you return, turn your head to the right, lowering your arm and your hips. Head comes to neutral, we lift hips, we lift right arm. Lower arm and hips, turn the head to the left. Left arm comes up, head to neutral, hips rise. Arm comes down, we look to the right. And maybe try one more on each side. So see how that checks out. And just rest. We'll slide our legs out. coming into your version of Shavasana, and see how you feel. So as you come into this pose of deep rest, Shavasana is a bridge into meditation because it allows us to rest enough that we can notice the internal space. And it's a pratyahara, it's a going in away from external awareness to more internal letting go. And as we dive into that space, it's always an invitation to the present moment, just as it is, just allowing a noticing here as you rest. So Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj says, the living present. There is something exceptional, unique about the present event, which the previous or the coming event do not have. There is a livingness about it, an actuality. It stands out as if illuminated. There is a stamp of reality on the present moment of the actual, which is the past, which the past and the future do not have. So just staying here with the present, letting go where we can, noticing where it's difficult. One breath at a time. So as we quietly just feel our body and mind rest a bit, we get used to letting go And letting that just drift into our nervous system, letting our nervous system absorb the stillness, quietness of just resting. So we could stay there if you like, as long as you like. I'll do a or move to a meditation posture. I'll just do a short guided open awareness meditation, and we'll end a little earlier today. Um, so staying with what you like this morning. As we begin to notice the more subtle body of the breath, and take your attention to the place where the breath just enters the nostrils and it exits the nostrils. So you allow this breath to just be in the moment of aliveness in your body. You might find the in-breath just moving a little deeper. So it's expanding, it's carried into the lungs, maybe even out to the limbs, your hands, your feet, and your head. And then when you're exhaling, you're just feeling that subtle breath leave your nostrils right at the edge, right? It's really long and slow, very subtle. So we move into this body just breathing with awareness. So our in breath is traveling in and down, maybe to the belly, and then maybe even all the way out to our hands, feet, and our head. And the exhale is just as long, so just a long exhale, but it's really slow and subtle at the edge of the nostrils. So you might notice on our filling, our inhalation, just any areas of the body that we haven't noticed. Maybe we breathe a little more in and feel our abdominal wall or pelvis. And the exhale, we just rest a bit. We let the exhale come out slow to bring ease. And then you do this very lightly, right? So just like, what's here right now? Just a curiosity as we breathe into the whole body, exploring space and any areas that might feel more blocked or tense. And the exhale, just a relaxation, just a letting go. And in open awareness, we just start to notice the body as a field of energy. The body is just a field in which sensation moves through. So we just sit for a moment and just notice this field. Even sound or vibration can travel through. So we sit with open awareness of thoughts that might just travel through the field of the mind. We let them pass by. Return just to this conscious awareness, this moment. It's watching. We're very gentle with our mind as well. So if it travels away and starts to wander, we just kindly bring it back again and just say, noticing the field of awareness. We can always bring our attention right back to those sensations of breath. Staying with those sensations, we start to find our witness self, our consciousness. Being with the breath. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Just to be right here in the illuminated present moment. That's a good time to just notice what where our thoughts go or drag us away. Maybe what pulls us away from our concentration on the breath without any judgment, or just noticing what does this mind do? And slowly we'll just check in with how we're feeling in our meditation this morning, and take with you that quietness. Transition time can be important. Just taking a moment to slowly start to notice the sounds in the place around you. You might slowly just start to come back with your opening your eyes and just letting your eyes kind of see what's here, light and shape and color. And I'll just read our quote again from the Maharaj here. Living is life's only purpose. To be always on the move, learning, discovering, unfolding is your eternal destiny. Living is life's only purpose. Learning, discovering, and unfolding. So, namaste, everybody. Have a good day.